Hello and welcome to Pop Snitch Pod. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Brandon.
And we have had a week. We went to the Hamptons this weekend, and that was a delight. Our dog had the time of his life. I am currently in a one-sided feud with one of our neighbors, though. I wish him only evil.
Why don't you just give a little backstory to that?
Just like, I work from home, and I work by a window, so I could stay out and have light and all of that. And this man intermittently, starting at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, will go outside and noodle around on his guitar, and he plugs it into an amp on his porch and just pollutes us all with his bad guitar playing. That's like,
so I have never been able to locate this man. Have you actually seen that this is an individual on his porch with a guitar? Because I don't believe that's what it is.
That is my theory. That is our neighbor's theory as well. And I am particularly envisioning a man who I know lives on the other side in one of those single family homes. And in my mind, the juxtaposition of owning $1 million property and then inflicting your terrible guitar playing on me does make me want to burn your house down.
So here's my theory. I actually think it's our downstairs neighbor, and I think it's just him playing bad music. Because today I was hearing background music with this kind of finger guitar playing over top of it.
Yeah, someone's trying to learn how to play guitar, and it's bad.
But no, it sounds too cogent to be someone just it's always a song. It's never just somebody noodling.
No, first of all, you only heard a snippet of it. This had been going on, the stopping and starting and noodling around, for an hour and a half before you got there, and I was at my wit's end.
Okay, I'm gonna need some recordings of it so that I can get a better sense of what's happening.
I opened the window and yelled at the top of my lungs at one point. I won't say what I said because it was explicit, but I was please shut up, begging you to go inside. Just some washed up loser on his porch. I can't take it. Find a room. Go to your basement.
I'm getting some out of control texts from work. I get home, Rachel's at the end of her rope. I just
well, he does it anytime it's a nice day. It's I can't even enjoy a sunny, delightful day because this man is you know what? Everyone's dying to hear me play my guitar outside with an amp.
Well, you are allergic to all forms of noise pollution.
It is the whitey thing about me. It's my biggest weenie behavior. I wish that I weren't like this, truly, but it irritates me because I'm I never do that to people. I am very
loud
careful.
Music, no loud cars, no skateboarding.
It's almost they invented headphones, wear your headphones. We're in New York City. You can't do anything without 5 other people around you being affected by it. God forbid you have any awareness that other people are having to listen to you do this poorly. Why can he not wear headphones? They are readily available.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think that you're on the right track here. But I will say that any form of noise bothers you. Any form. I
don't like the sound of
overly
a skateboard.
Sensitive. Would you admit that? Maybe overly sensitive.
It is
to
giving a dose of perhaps autism. Maybe my mom had Tylenol while I was in the womb.
What's crazy is that I think your mom has the same thing.
Yeah, no, for real. I can't take it.
I think it's extrasensory hearing is something that runs in your family. Your mother can hear conversation happening across the house, downstairs, in another room, through the vents.
I was like that when I was teaching. A skill that I have is a lot of stuff can be going on and my brain will hone in on one particular voice or one particular sound. And it I can hear people talking through a mess of voices. And it used to scare my students because I'd be what'd you say?
Oh, this is uncanny. I mean, I've witnessed this happen from multiple members of your family, and it really is an uncanny sense because to me, I'll be honest, I can withstand like a cacophony of different noises all going around me. I can be contributing to the cacophony, whether that's like tapping on my knee or like making like noises of some sort like that. I have nervous energy in that way. And I've had to literally learn how to remove all of that from my personality, because if I do anything, if I start clicking something, if I start like nervous energy of any kind, even just moving my fingers back and forth like that, Rachel can hear it.
It's a weird thing to do, too. I'll look at you and you've got like something in your mouth tapping on your teeth, or you're like clicking a pen or doing something like that. And I'm like, sit still. Oh my God.
Well, I'll just say it's a convergence of two of our things, like your hypersensitivity and then like my nervous energy to do a certain thing.
Yeah, it does. It makes me crazy. It makes me feel like I need to go be alone for 3 days. Without noise. And so, this is not a great picture of me. I also feel like I should clarify that I don't think that Tylenol while pregnant makes you autistic.
I don't think anyone who listens to if anyone listens to this, I don't think that they would think that. Yeah,
well, God forbid it gets spliced from one of our now 40 subscribers.
Hey,
we're moving on up.
They're
That's
leaving.
YouTube.
They're leaving messages. They're leaving 5-star reviews now.
Yes. Okay. First of all, shout out to all of our friends who left 5-star reviews. Like, genuinely, thank you so much. Brandon is going to read them for us because they're stellar and we're thrilled that you did it.
And some of these, I don't know who these people are, some of them, so that's good. So they're either disguising themselves or we actually have new listeners. So
listen, either way.
And like I said, we're going to read 5-star reviews on the pod. So here's the first one. New favorite pod from Becca LC. She gives us a 5-star review and says, love to listen to my reality TV besties break down the goods. They are out here doing the Lord's work. Amen. New 2026 career dream unlocked. Make a guest appearance on the pod.
Hell yeah.
That's the first one. Then we have Such Fun from Vertical Chaos.
Ooh.
This person says, so much fun to listen to Brandon and Rachel's takes on reality shows and other pop culture stuff. Gotta admit, some of the TV shows they talk about have gone into my guilty pleasures list just to know what they're talking about.
Aww.
5 stars. Let's see. Like talking with friends. This is from Choir Student. Do I agree with every hot take? Probably not. Do I listen like I'm bantering with friends waiting for my turn to jump in? Every time. Think of this podcast as a better version of your current favorite podcast without weird MAGA undertones.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate
Heavy
that.
on that. Yeah.
And then finally, this one is the culture take we all need from Goop 949. I'm obsessed. Y'all have made me want to watch shows I've never been interested in, and I love the shows I am watching even more. Ready for more Big Mike energy.
Or like clownish.
That is the funniest gotcha that we've gotten on any of our socials, is somebody was true. Just like, why do the mics have to be so big? Yeah.
Every time I read that comment, it literally makes me laugh out loud. And so I think we do need to just embrace like Big Mike energy. Like that's where we are. That could be like one of our little things.
I'm going to get a bigger cone for ours just to like really over the top.
Mine is quite literally like the size of my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The size of like half my head.
Big Mike energy.
Big Mike energy, we're here. And we are about to tackle a subject that, to be honest, I'm low-key afraid to even discuss because the discourse has been unhinged. And that is the life of a showgirl. Are you ready to get into it?
I really am. And I want to, can I look at you? Okay, I just want to look at your list here to make sure I don't like fly off the handle and start going in.
Well, you can go in like whatever way you want. I think the best way to do
I love the what we like, what we didn't like to start out. And because I like to praise our queen up first.
Sure.
And praise the things that I do like about the album. When we're talking about Taylor Swift, we're talking about Life of a Showgirl.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that without condition, I would say that the first 3 songs on the album may be 3 of my favorite of her songs ever. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't consider myself a Swiftie, but I really like a lot of her music. And I would say that those first 3 songs rank in some of my favorite. And I think that the production on the whole album is stellar. That bringing Max Martin and his co-collaborator, I forget what that person's name is, bringing them back into the fold and producing this album, I think it is great production-wise.
Yeah, I feel similarly. So I would say Father Figure is actually one of my favorite songs. A lot of people don't like it, but I feel like that's what I had hoped Eldest Daughter would be. And so like I really, really like it. The first 4 songs to me are excellent, like certified bops, right? And then I like the sound of the song, The Life of a Showgirl. Honey, I like. Yeah. And so those are the ones that I really like. I think sonically and like you said, production wise, it's really well done. You can see a general rhythm and dynamics to it with the fast songs, the slow songs. There are so many hooks that even on songs I don't like, I'm remembering everything. And this always happens with Taylor Swift. And I was thinking about this today. Every time she releases a new album, everyone's like, I hate it. It's the worst thing she's ever done. And then when she releases a different album, they're like, oh, I just really miss like when she did TTPD or Midnights would have been great right now. Like Midnights, people panned immediately. I really loved it. Same thing for TTPD. Like I really enjoyed that album too. And so I think that a lot of what she did here was exactly what she told us she was going to do, which was she just wanted like bops. She wanted pop songs, fun songs, songs that reflected where she was in this current stage of life, which was flirty and fun and happy to be here. And I think that she did do that. I think like I said, the album is sonically excellent. So let's get into maybe what we didn't like. You can start with that.
I think the hardest thing for me to wrap my mind around are the lyrics that have to do with me realizing that she's a billionaire and that this does not work for me any longer. Like the whole entire song Wishlist is maybe the most messed up conglomeration of lyrics that I have ever witnessed. Like, I don't even dislike the song. I think I was re-listening to the song because I've stopped listening to it because it was bothering me so bad. And you want to talk about something bothering me. That clicking of that pen.
I just did it so I can write it down.
Dear God. You've clicked it like 20 times since we start. My misophonia is acting up.
My God, do you want me to get you a pill?
Yeah, I do.
One.
But like a song about like buying a house with a basketball goal out front. I'm like, you have 12 properties.
Yeah, surely one of them has room for a basketball.
Yeah, surely that, and like the whole like yachting and like you want my life, but I just want to be like you. Like, give me a break.
My
like,
life's hard.
You have $2 billion.
It's hard being a billionaire.
Yeah. So
I didn't have anyone to love me.
So I would say like Wishlist. I would also put Canceled in this same thing.
I
do not want to hear any billionaire singing a song about the
scars of cancellation.
The scars of cancellation. Like, give me a break. Like,
yeah, there's always a lot of lore around what these songs are. And I want to say I'm of two minds about what I didn't like. Well, actually, of a few minds. I agree with you about the lyrics. I feel like some of them were out of touch and some of them were just weird, like TikTok slang that I think she was trying to be cheeky in. And it's just hard. She's showing us a different side of herself. And she said that like 3 times before she dropped the album. So I should have prepared myself for the lyrics because this was supposed to be fun, flirty, like whatever. And it just, to me, like you said, with Wishlist, I could do without. And then Canceled, I was just like, okay. One of the things about Taylor Swift that has made her such an enigma and such a powerhouse is that she has an uncanny parasocial relationship with the Swifties, right? And so her music is incredibly relatable, a lot of it. And this isn't. And I think I'm of two minds about it. One, I enjoy her albums that are a little sadder and a little madder. Like I love Reputation. I love TTPD. I love Midnights. Folklore and Evermore, like obviously those are great too. And there are some like sad, deep songs there. I think when she's happy, it's like harder to relate to because we're not billionaires who just got engaged to an NFL star. And so it's a little harder. It really, and this is with any art, where you are in your life is going to decide. It's like mirroring something to you and like how you react. And so that's why I think those particular songs were such misses for me personally, where I'm like, I really don't need to hear about your boyfriend's dick. Like I'm all set, you know?
So here's another thing that I was thinking about today. Like, let's talk about like track order. The thing is, the first 3 songs are great, right? And then you have father figure, eldest daughter, ruin the friendship, which people have all kinds of thoughts about those songs. But I will just say, I think all 3 of those songs are decent. I don't think, I think they're all fine. I think actually Romantic is a great song. I just don't like all the Charlie XCX of it all, and I don't like how it's almost punching down in a weird way, because when you're a 2 billionaire, any punch you throw is going to be throwing down. And I think that's also something that we're having to deal with. But I will say, imagine if you split up, like you went father figure, eldest daughter, and then you threw something like Canceled or Would in there, and then you just, and then that's the problem. Is that problem section is 8, 9, 10. Wishlist, Would, and Canceled. They're all together.
They are
the 3
together.
Worst songs on the album from a cringe standpoint are all clumped in one clump. And I think if you would have separated those out and put Would somewhere near the top as a compliment to those first 4 songs that are kind of upbeat and in your face, put Would up there, and then move Canceled somewhere in the middle of the mix, I think we would feel differently about it. But to be hit with the absurdity of Wishlist, followed by Travis Kelce's Wiener in Would, and then followed by the worst song on the album, Canceled, like it's so heavy. Like having to have gone through those 3 songs after, because I remember when we got through the first like 4 or 5 songs,
I was like, wow.
I'm like, what are people talking about? This is great. And then by the end of it, I'm like, oh, I don't even know I can listen to this again. Yeah. And I think, and it was all because of cringe lyrics. It's not that they're bad songs. I think the construction of all of the songs are good.
No, I agree. I think it's hard. Like, she has been such like she kind of had to be a good girl, right? Because of when she came up in the industry, was that she's this good girl with sad lyrics and just a hopeless romantic. And now at 35, she's not just a little girl anymore. She's a whole woman, and she's coming out trying to be like sexy and quirky and cute, like a Sabrina Carpenter of it all. But the lyrics, because we're used to such good lyricism from her, they're not funny. They feel like a letdown. And like if Sabrina was singing that, it would be like, oh, that's hilarious. That's cute, you know, whatever. Not because I think Sabrina has bad lyrics, but because we know that Sabrina is very sexual and very clever and very funny, right? And I think it's hard to see someone that you have followed for like 20 years of music shift lyrically this much. And, you know, it's whatever. It's fine. Some people are going to be into it. I think the biggest mistake she made was calling the album The Life of a Showgirl. My 100%. Expectation when she came out and I saw the songs and stuff, I genuinely was like, oh, it's going to be orchestral and big and like da-da-da-da-da-da. That was my initial thinking. And when she was describing it on Travis Kelce's podcast, I was like, okay, I was just trying to make sense. And I think she should have called it either Opalite and made it just all about that relationship, or Honey, and like leaned into the sexuality. Like I can visualize everything being gold and like her like holding up a honeycomb or something like that and looking really sexy. I think that you could make something like that work. The Opalite could have been a really cool theme. I just felt like The Life of a Showgirl, I thought we were going to get the dark parts behind it, not just, it feels like an Instagram, like, I don't know. I can't even explain what I'm trying to say, but it fell flat for me in that way.
I mean, my thought was the Opalite thing, because like when she was on Jimmy Fallon, she was describing like that song and how much that meant to her, and how, you know, Opalite is basically like fake opal that is created by human beings, basically. And she was like, through this relationship, through being with Travis, she's realized that and even aside from the relationship, you have to create your own happiness in life. Like, it's not just going to get dropped in your lap. You have to create your own. And so that's what the metaphor of Opalite really is that you have to make your own happiness. And I think if you look at the through line of this whole thing, I think that's what she's gotten to, is that even like ruin the friendship. Like, oh, if I could go back and make my own happiness in this situation with this person, that I should have done that. You know, I should have made it happen, not waited for it to happen. And I really like that as a through line for the whole CD.
Yeah.
But Life of a Showgirl, I just had such a different thing. I was like, she's going to show us songs that are in front of the curtain.
The curtain,
which would be like a big, you know, pop
orchestral
explosions,
pop,
right? And then behind the curtains, the dark, the things you don't know about me when I'm alone, these thoughts and all that, and it just wasn't delivered. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like the whole Life of a Showgirl thing just does not make sense to me with these songs. Yeah. And I think that's what people are experiencing. And I think honestly, like on the whole, I think people are giving her way too hard of a time for most of this stuff. But there are some lyrical content within this CD that are just out of control.
Diabolical. Like, I could not believe that she felt comfortable putting her signature on some of these lyrics. But at the same time, like, this is going to be one of the most commercially successful albums of all time, which for her, ultimately, probably is what matters, and she will laugh all the way to the bank. And here's the thing that people don't understand when they're making these videos, being like, oh, I hate Taylor Swift, whatever. If you're talking about her, you're supporting the album. Like right now, we are supporting the album. Whatever you say, this is why she does things the way that she does them. She is creating controversy on purpose because that delivers monetary results.
No, I completely agree. And I think another part of her genius is that, you know, people have made entire livings off of just talking about her on TikTok. And during all of the Eras Tour stuff, like it was all very positive. And so some of these people are like, let me trim out a lane now that I'm the Swiftie who now doesn't like Taylor Swift.
Right.
And some of that is so obvious in all of this. And, you know, I think it's also inevitable. Like we want to put someone up on a pedestal and then we want to drag them down from it. And that's definitely not me in this scenario. Like I think this is one of her better sounding albums that she's ever done. And from a production standpoint, maybe one of her best. And I just think it has some cringe songs during a cringe time of her life. Like when we're in love, when we're having a good time, like that's some of our cringiest moments. The stuff we look back on like, oh boy, I was really out of touch during this moment. And I just think like some of that I'm happy for her and like want her to experience. And also like, I think some of it is so planned. And like, I even read an article today about this whole like, the clapback for Charlie XCX. What's that song called?
Everything Romantic. Isn't it romantic?
Oh yeah. Actually romantic.
Actually romantic.
And how some people believe that this is just an opportunity for her to let it sit out there for a long time and people think it's about Charlie. And then whether it's about Charlie or not, she'll come out and say it's not about Charlie.
Well, for sure.
And that
in the meantime, Charlie is getting so much PR too, so her team is remaining quiet on purpose.
Love it. They love it.
As they should.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited that there's I like all the drama. Honestly, like the pop girly drama, like that's what I'm here for. Like honestly.
Well, I really like half of the album. I would say almost exactly half of the album. And then the rest of it, I really don't like 2 songs, and then the rest of them I'm like, okay, that's fine. Which I think is a success. Like if it, you know, to your point, the real Swifties who've been around for a while, they always do this. I don't do this because I can't name myself as one of them, even though I listen to a lot of Taylor Swift and really like her. I don't know all the lore. I don't know all the details of everything. I'm just like listening, like I'm listening to the radio, right? And they always have a reaction because every album sounds different from the one before, with the exception of like Folklore and Evermore. Like she's really good at creating those dynamics, and it feels a little like whiplash at first. So I think you really have to let it marinate a little because most people are like very annoyed when they first come out and have a lot of criticism, but it's because they really like her and they expect a lot from her. I did not like her PR for this though. I hate that she did it on his podcast. I don't know why. The more I look back at that, the more I'm like, ugh.
Well, I was just looking back at, like, for me, a person who doesn't consider themselves like an all-out Swiftie. I was looking back at Midnights, which is the last album of hers that I heard and was like, oh, I like a lot of this, and like kind of can listen all the way through. And I only like really liked like 7 songs on there. And so I'm thinking about it like that, I think without all of this hubbub in my ear, I would actually be like a way bigger fan of this. Like if I was able to sit with my own thoughts about it, I think really the only songs that would have given me pause and kind of been like Wishlist, Canceled, and honestly, like, I hate to say this because like I've been struggling with it myself. I hate the lyrics of Wood. I think Wood might be the best song on the album. Like I love the Jackson 5 of it all. I love the bass line. I love the pre-chorus. Like I love it all. I just
maybe I need to listen to it with
about.
Like more of an open mind. I hate the lyrics of Eldest Daughter. Like, I'm not a bad bitch.
Oh yeah, that one's bad. I think that I need to add that to the list of 3. That's the 4th of the really bad ones.
What is the thing she says that she suffers from being? It's basically her saying like she suffers from being super special, but I can't remember how she words it. But I was like, girl, relax. But anyway, I agree. I think overall it will be a success. It is a success commercially. What I disagreed with was the name, and I hate the Rollout was cringe because she goes on Travis's podcast. She leaves all these little tidbits that she's going to be doing the Super Bowl. Then she immediately gets engaged, and then we find out she's not doing the Super Bowl. And then she goes on Fallon to basically, Tree Payne puts her out there and is like, all right, here are the stories that we're going to debunk.
All of these rumors that really still seem I mean, the stuff with the NFL is just true. I'm sorry, like NFL insiders, like Adam Schefter and people like this who are like literal NFL insiders are saying like, no, the documents and the contracts were on the table. And because they would not give her the footage to be her own, she backed out of the deal. Like, so it's just hard for me to believe that this narrative of like, no, you know what, I'm too into
really
football.
Locked in. Yeah.
Oh, give me a break.
Like last year, you didn't know what it was. Or the year before. I forget. They've been together for like 2 years. Okay. Let's move on because I'm dying to talk about the most toxic season of Love is Blind I think I may have ever seen. And that is Love is Blind Denver. I didn't have high hopes for this because it looked like the most like Mayo casting I've ever seen. And I stand by that. I will say, I have been to Denver. It is very like granola and gay and fun and liberal. These people must not live in Denver proper, I feel.
They don't. None of them do. Remember? They keep saying like, oh yeah, we'll have to drive into Denver and blah, blah, blah. It's all suburbanites.
Yeah. So I'm like, why, again, do we have this like magnification of reality TV? And like, listen, I know this has happened forever and ever and ever, amen, but it is so in your face that I'm like, why did we not get people who actually live in Denver? Like, what?
So let me give you my take on this. So I think part of it is like these reality shows especially are built on these like archaic notions of what relationships have to be and the way that they look, and they're kind of built on like age-old what would it be called,
gender norms,
gender stereotypes, and really like the only people that are still living like that are conservatives. And so I think like this kind of game show-esque dating reality TV show really appeals to those people, and that's who watches it. Historically,
well, see, it's
like
yes,
middle
on like
America.
ABC, like on a network, yes. On Netflix, I guess that must be the case. They must have run the numbers and known.
No, it is.
But I was just like, this is so weird because these people do not seem like they're actually from Denver. We will say one thing you pointed out was that they have done a lot of new editing techniques this season that made the pods tolerable.
Pure genius in the editing. Like they set you up, like they show you this like really great connection going on and then turn it on its head and show you that one of those people actually has a better connection with somebody else. Oh man, I'm telling you, I told Rachel one night, I was like, I just feel like I'm proud of them. They've like really taken a step in the right direction.
They did what they needed to do. And because the pods usually are so boring because instead of like, you know, showing you what's going on, they would use, instead of doing interviews to like cut to the chase, they would try to make you read through the lines and their actual painful dialogue. So you're just sitting there listening to them talk about nothing until they finally get to a nugget of something that will be of interest to the story as we move on.
Well, also that going back to that magification of everything, I'm just having a hard time because I really do believe that it is like the normies who are watching this show because it seems like this is the show for normies and then the ultimatum is more of like a liberal leaning show.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like the relationships on there seem a little more complex. In terms of like, they're already in a relationship, but there are issues already. You know, they don't have this vision of relationships that fit into these very like distinguishable categories.
Well, nothing makes me want to be less conservative than watching this show. If this is what your values are built on, God help you. Because all of these couples are absolute red flags. It's what's making the season great.
Great amen.
But it is truly like I cannot believe this is what people want. Like genuinely in my heart of hearts, I'm like, y'all will be miserable, but okay.
Did you say make Love is Blind great again? Is that what you said?
I don't even know. I like blacked out. But it's just like, anyway, let's get into the couples. So a couple of things happened. The two most normal people, who were they? Anna and Blake? Was that who it was? Who had like connections, deep connections? They were like, and I've listened to them give interviews since then. And they were basically like, I got in, the connections were deep. They were definitely not deep enough to be able to say you're going to get married after 10 days. And they started feeling like, this is really weird and I actually don't want to be here. And they just left. They didn't say goodbye to their connections. They just straight up ghosted people who were like quite literally about to propose to them. Which was really interesting. It was like some of the best TV for it, where it like leaves you on that cliffhanger. But I actually really liked them and I wish that they would get together, but I don't know if I'm sure they've met by now, but I don't think that they're together. But there were initially 6 couples and we'll go through and talk about them. The first one I want to talk about is Sparkle Megan, which for sure is a nickname that she has given herself.
Oh, absolutely.
No one in her friend group calls her that. But you know what? Do what you need to do. Some people are the type of people who have to create personal nicknames. And she is with Jordan, who leads with being a single dad. And that is like pretty much his only characteristic. Like that's how I remembered him in terms of like interesting things about him. And what we know is that Megan says that she drives a really nice car, has her own business, is really rich. And Jordan's like, yeah, I'm like a manager at something, like a branch manager, and I have a kid.
Yeah. And she's got CEO vibes for sure.
Well, let me tell you what. This girl, okay, I like her vibe on the show. She does follow RFK Jr. on Instagram, and I knew she did the minute she started talking about birth control the way she did. And she said something else that I was like, this girl's Maha, like for sure. And she absolutely is. She's like one of those fitness influencers, Make America Healthy Again. They're like RFK Jr. people.
Okay, gotcha.
And she's like definitely like a fitness grifter is where she's making her money. So that immediately I was like, ew. Like I looked at her website and looked at all the stuff and I'm like, okay, so but she's basically showing thirst traps and then like trying to hawk vitamins and stuff.
And then Jordan looks like the lead singer of Simple Plan. Like he was in like a early 2000s punk band and now like works as the manager of a Starbucks or something. Right. That's like the vibes that he's giving.
Right.
And I will say the thing that I like the most about Jordan is that he pretty much kept it real like the whole time. Like when something bothered him in the pods, he brought it to the forefront. When he felt like he was like he needed to kind of shift his thinking, he would mention that. When like something hard with like the conversation about his kids or the conversation about the kind of person he is, he's like, look, like this is who I am. Like if you're not feeling it or I'm not feeling you, like it felt very authentic. It felt very transparent, which you don't typically get. I don't feel like he was putting on airs in the pods, which you typically get the feeling that no matter what, you're getting like a very sanitized, rose-colored version of the person. And I felt like he did the best job maybe ever on the show of giving us a picture of who I think he really is.
Yeah, and it was interesting because she was in this triangle with this guy named Mike, who the minute he spoke about like his properties and being a landlord and how he was just really wanting to make his own business, he really cared so much about his health. I'm like, Mike, you look like a sad dad at best. There is nothing about you that says like I'm in the gym 5 days a week. And the way he was trying to say that Jordan's kid wouldn't be diabetic if he, took his health more seriously. I'm like, do you understand the difference between type 1 and type 2? Because it's giving, you don't. So shut up. And he was so like cringe and I hated everything he was saying.
Well, and the thing I will say about Sparkle Megan, no matter what happens from now on, and even if she proves me wrong, like the thing I will give her is that she was very honest with the show and with the two guys about where she stood. She was like, Mike, I'm very attracted to you, probably through a toxic mindset that I've had. You remind me of every guy I've ever been with. Like you're sort of negging me. We have a lot in common when it comes to taking care of ourselves and being in the gym and like the things that we want, even probably I would say politically and all of these things.
Oh, for
and
sure.
then and then with Jordan, she's like, my heart is telling me that I need to choose something different. That I need to give something different a try. That's why I came here. I didn't come here to blindly choose the same kind of guy I've been here.
And Jordan has a personality. Mike was literally the most boring. And you could tell he was bullshitting. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, for sure you owe people money and are just like a slumlord. And it's also,
and I really, really value Megan's choice with the fact that Mike the entire time is trying to plant that Jordan is ugly and that he's not attractive.
She was scared.
And she was like, I don't appreciate that, but I hear what you're saying and I still have to make this decision. And I could tell she was, she was prepared, which is great. She was prepared for the absolute worst.
Yeah. When she saw him, she like almost cried because she was so happy.
Yes, because he's a very decent looking guy. Like he's not
much more handsome than Mike. I'm like, bro, seriously?
I mean, that's the thing is think about the guys you see at the gym, right? That have muscles and like good looking bodies, but have like a hideous face or like, weird features that would make you like,
I would not classify him as having a good looking body.
No, he doesn't, but he does have like a gym rat body.
Not even that much. Like I think Mike was mid at best. Like, brother, get some finasteride, get a facial care routine, maybe a personality transplant, and then we'll see what we can get. Yeah.
I think, but I think like he's a traditionally like masculine looking person,
if you mean like low key balding with no chin, sure.
Okay, sure. Well, that's a little tough on Mike, but
I did not like Mike at all.
Okay,
and you know what? He went on that show. That's on him. Right. Okay, so I actually think Megan and Jordan are interesting together. I think that they have like a very real connection. Then we have Patrick and Kacie, which is like a whole thing where Patrick didn't want to tell his ethnicity. His family is from Cambodia and China. And he was very like, he was giving, if I were on the other side, to me, he was giving like frat boy verbiage in the way that he talked and stuff. And she is Mormon And like, I don't know, she herself said that she was vapid and cared more about looks. She dated a guy for a long time, basically knowing he was cheating on her just because he would be like, well, I show your Instagram to more people than any other girl's Instagram. And I'm like, that did it for you, baby?
And he has like a very small yet respectable TikTok following.
Yes. So he's like pretty like locally famous on TikTok, right? Like, impressive. Great. Congrats. But I'm like, girl, you have got to want better things for yourself. Like, that's pathetic.
And this guy had been trying to convince her to go on these dating shows to become famous, even though he was saying like, well, we're together, but you need to go on these shows.
We can be together when you
famous.
Get back. Yeah, he wasn't taking it seriously. And the thing about Patrick is I'd love to feel sorry for him with what happened, but I can't because he was really into Annie, who ghosted him and left. And because he wanted to stay on the show, he basically went hard in the paint and said everything he thought Kacie wanted to hear. And so she probed from him that, you know, what's your ethnicity? Asked him a few times. And
it was like, I have to know.
It was really weird. I don't know if they spliced that up strangely or what, but she was basically like, tell me. And he did. And they cut to an interview and she was like, well, he's Asian, and said it so weird. And I was like, are you okay? And she's like, well, like a family member did a mission in Korea and my dad likes to go to Korea to do karaoke. And I'm like, oh yes, no, that makes you very prepared for an interracial marriage. So congratulations. She was so honest with the girls about how shallow she was. And Patrick, for some reason in his mind, had got it in his head that she wasn't as hot as he was to him. And he admitted that when he saw her. And when he saw her and saw that she was like very attractive to him, I find her kind of scary looking because there's just so much makeup and filler and self-tanner and all of that.
His brain broke. In real time.
Both of them broke simultaneously for different reasons.
I mean, they kind of like accidentally walked to the back of the set, which isn't really a set. And they were like, no, don't go in there. It's like, there's no lights in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. And the bottom line with all of this is that, I mean, she went as far as to like have basically essentially phone sex through the wall with him to lock him in.
That's right. She sure did.
And
was like telling him what she would do to him. And
because
I was like,
he was basically saying, I'm going to leave. Like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling like it's going to work because
they were both looking for airtime.
You're giving weird vibes. Like, you don't really like me or this, like, my ethnicity is bothering you or something. And so, like, I'm going to back out of this. Yeah. And she, like, locked him in by basically just weirdly starting phone sex through the wall.
It was, I'm afraid of what they edited out. It wasn't even good. I was like, this is just making me feel
very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just was like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be seeing this. So anyway, after they see each other, right before they're supposed to leave for Baja, because, you know, they go on their little honeymoon right after they get engaged, she basically tells production, I'm not attracted to him. I don't think I'm going to be attracted to him if I stay with him longer. I just need to let him know. And then proceeds to tell him, I just can't go to Baja. And he's like, that's not a problem. Like, we don't have to go. We can, you know, go back to Denver. We can go back. And she's like, oh my gosh, I just feel so bad. Like, I just need you to know, like, I can't do it. And he's like, go to Baja? And she's like, yeah. And then I've never seen someone try to break up with someone whilst dry humping and making out with them. Like, it was the most mixed signaled. She could not be honest with him, that she just didn't want to be with him. And she kept saying, like, I know what they're trying to do. They're making it seem like I'm not attracted to you. And it's like, but you said you weren't. Just be honest. There's no crime in not being attracted to someone.
And the thing is, like, I will say, like, I listened to Nick Vile's podcast with Patrick and Kacie. And the truth of the matter is that he did say one thing that I do believe about the show, is that the question of the show is love blind? And if people come to the realization in that moment that it's not, that only makes the show better and makes it like it's answering the question. It's not love, like the name of the show is Love is Blind, but even Nick says at the beginning, is love blind? Like, that's the question that you're answering. And so
for Kacie, it is not.
For Kacie, it's not blind at all.
It's not blind. It's got 20/20 sight, and she did not like what she saw. So
yeah,
we'll move on to...
Go ahead.
Yeah, we need to get through a few others. We've got Allie and Anton, who are kind of boring, to be honest. He seems more emotionally mature than any of the other guys, and I just don't have a lot to say about them yet. She just kind of like giggles and shows off how cute she is all the time, so I'm actually more interested to see what happens with them when they're living together, because she's giving messy girl, he's giving OCD clean boy, and so curious.
The biggest thing with them that I think anyone needs to know going into watching the second part of the season is Allie is extremely hot and way out of Anton's league, but Anton's not a bad looking guy. The reason that they're so connected, I think, is a values thing of like wanting a very traditional relationship.
Well, they both have immigrant families.
Yes,
and they
traditional
want,
family relationships.
Yeah, and so they want families that reflect the expectations there. And her expectation is that she has babies, she's a mom, she, is beautiful.
He's a provider.
He pays for quite literally everything. When he said that her ring, which I didn't realize that they paid for the rings themselves, but he said that her ring was $5,000, and she was like, only $5,000? Like, she was actually offended.
Yeah, she was like, it should be at least 10.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. So that's why I'm curious to see where it goes. I think he was pleased as a peach to see how she looked, and she was fine. I think he's attractive. Then we have Edmund and Kalybriah. So much to say. She is a social worker and he was in foster care. And so I understand the connection, but it's giving mother to her son. Yeah, it's giving he's in love with his therapist. They are not on equal playing fields, and his inability to control his emotions, he is what I find to be the scariest type of man. And I think I want to be clear, I think he is sweet as a person. I do not think he is able to be in a relationship with someone as emotionally mature as Kalybriah, because he has these outbursts where he's screaming, I'm nice, like, so you should do X, Y, and Z. Often men who are like, but I'm a nice guy, I'm just a good guy, they think that you owe them something for that. Like, I could be mean and beat you. It's like, or you could be a person. Like, I don't know. I don't like that guy either. And so it's this like feeling like you need to be applauded for doing small things, like not screaming at someone. And the central conflict that they have is that she won't sleep with him until they get fake married. Like in 4 weeks. It's a month. She's saying, give me a month. Let's make sure that this is actually a good connection. And I see where he's coming from. Like, if you're actually going to, which to me says she's not actually going to get married. If you're actually going to get married, you probably want to kick the tires around a little bit. Make sure that connection is solid. But I think like we all know what the show is, and he was fine with it until they went to the pool party where a lot happened. And essentially he found out that everybody else had sex except them. And that, like, he basically threw a temper tantrum in their bed that night.
I think the thing about their relationship that I haven't been able really to deduce yet is that there's this idea that she's drawn to him because in the pods, he was very emotionally vulnerable with her. He cried. He, in a way that didn't seem manipulative, that really sent, like it came
cried
from
and shared.
Yes. And came from a very real place, right? But since they've gotten out of the pods, he still is unable to control his emotions. And so even when he's really, really happy, he will just begin to cry uncontrollably. When he's angry about something, he will cry uncontrollably. Like,
he jumps around a lot. It's like having a toddler.
It's giving like unemotionally regulated.
Yes.
And
which given his upbringing makes sense. Like, trying to regulate that's hard.
And like, even on Nick's podcast, they had Blake on there, and they were like, hey, we're getting a lot of information. Like, a lot of people are really ragging on Kalybriah and Edmund's relationship. what do you think about Edmund? Do you think, and he was like, look, this guy is the most genuine and real guy that was there. Yeah. And I wish them nothing but the best. Like, so he didn't, and he was like, well, what about the manipulation? What about, you think he's like emotionally ready for this? And he's like, I will not say a bad word about Edmund. He is like a legitimate, great person.
I think that he is a genuine guy. I also think he probably like adores her, but I don't know. And I think he leans into emotional vulnerability and kindness instead of anger, which is amazing that he learned that as a coping mechanism. But you see these moments where it feels like he's pitching tantrums. And also, like, to have someone who is so vulnerable in a situation where they are manipulative with cameras, with when you eat, when you sleep, all of that, I can see how it would produce that. But I really like them both separately.
Yeah, and I also think that we'll have to see how this develops, because like maybe he learns and maybe he moves and like grows, and whether they choose to get married or not, maybe it's like a relationship that can prosper. But we'll have to see how it matures over the next couple of episodes.
Well, the last two couples are horrific. Okay, so we got Madison and Joe, who Madison is this really cute girl. She's got her life together. She does have a degenerative eye disease that might render her blind sooner rather than later. And she was very upfront with Joe about it, very upfront with everyone she spoke to about it, that she needs some support with that. And even like, when they're in Baja, she's like, can you not leave that open? Like, I already have a bunch of bruises. Like, I run into things. And he's kind of like, but why don't you speak to how this relationship is going? Because it really irritated you. Me too, but you a lot.
I mean, so they have a great connection in the pods. And I mean, honestly, he takes the stuff about the blindness thing like really well. And I don't, at the time, I think like, oh, he's just really mature and he knows what he wants and he wants to be a helper and a provider. But what we find out later is that it's really just that I think he's dumb and he doesn't think through things and like what this will mean for his life and what it will mean to be caring for someone who is more than likely going to be either extremely impaired visually or straight up blind. But the good thing that I'm thinking the whole time is this woman is beautiful. I mean, she, in my opinion, she's a little bit bigger, but she is very, very attractive. And I'm like, this guy's going to outkick his coverage. The curtain's going to come up and he's going to be blown away by how she looks. Yeah. And he's going to be fine.
He is the most basic looking guy. He's not ugly. He's not hot. He's literally average on every front. Right? Yeah. She's voluptuous, has a great personality, confident.
Very bubbly, fun. And the door comes up and his face drops.
Visibly. And she's like, what?
And then ensues.
But she is blind. So like, did she see that?
What we've seen a million times on this show is when a man doesn't think that someone is attractive enough, he begins this like slow rolling, like, oh, it's just really hard for me to put your voice with your face.
Yeah. You're just not my typical type,
Yes.
Which begs the question, what is your type? And then he tells her, usually just go for like really thin girls.
Yes. And he says, you're just a little bit bigger than I'm like, oh my God. And this woman is not big. She is not big. She is literally like
audacity.
I think like
this little
maybe
rat
the definition of the body type that most men are like, oh, that's very nice.
She's voluptuous.
Yeah.
She's got big boobies, a little dumpy, and again, confident. It was funny when what did crack me up was when she pulled out all that hair and his eyes were like, oh, he was shaking to his core about the hair extensions.
So after the first night together in Baja, they go into the bathroom to like start, getting ready for bed.
Getting unready.
And she starts pulling gigantic clips of fake hair out of her head. To which this is like, men need to step it up. Women are doing so much to look good for you. Yeah. And then you're grossed out when they take out a hair clip. Like, get a break, dude. Oh, sorry.
Dude,
I shouldn't say that. I can't say
it's fine. Yes, you can. It is crazy because guys will be like, I just like it better like when you don't wear makeup. And the girls don't wear makeup and they're like, my God, fix yourself up a little bit. Maybe like brush your hair. And you're like, okay, sure. They want you to wear enough makeup where it doesn't seem like you're wearing makeup. Like that's what they want. But it was just, yeah. So he clearly is not attracted to her. She is asking him directly, like, hey, are you attracted to me? Are we having issues here? What does he do? He says, yeah. Then we find out the next day that he only says, I love you to her when they're having sex. And she's like, we're having great sex. Like, I don't know what the issue is. And his issue is that he's either embarrassed by her or he's not attracted to her, but he is attracted to her enough to sleep with her multiple times. And so I find him disgusting. He and Jordan were clearly on something aside from alcohol where they went that's bonkers.
So they're at the kind of the way that this whole thing is ending in the end of these first 6 episodes is Jordan and Joe, and I'm not even sure why, get into this weird back and forth where like Joe
is into each other, but they hate each other.
He's like weirdly talking about Jordan being ugly and not looking good. And Jordan's like saying that Joe's like an idiot. And they're just going back and forth. It is really weird.
Like it looks like they're about to make out.
Yes. And I'm also going to say, like, we've talked about this off pod. They're not just drinking.
Nerd. Like when he said you have salt on your nose, I was like,
there's some nose candy happening in Baja for sure.
Well, because go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say when Joe he leaves her there. She's like, do you want me to come with you? He's like, no, I'm going to go take a nap. She's like, got it. So she stays at the pool party. Then she goes back to check on him and offer him water. And he asks her, why are you so dressed up? Where have you been? Multiple times. Enough where it quite literally scares her. And she's like, do you know where you are? Yeah. And I did see a clip of Nick Viall being like, I don't know why she's asking so many questions to a guy who just woke up drunk. Sir, she wasn't asking the questions. He was saying, where have you been? Why are you so dressed up? And she knew, and here's what she said to him. You are not being cogent. You are not being coherent. I am scared. Like, do I need to get a doctor?
Yes, that little rat, Nick Viall, on this podcast literally sides with a man who gets coked out of his mind and drinks himself into oblivion and is so out of it that I would have immediately called the emergency medical service.
Yeah,
this man
she was scared.
Can't speak right. He didn't know who she was, questions.
Where she had been.
He doesn't remember anything that happened that day.
No, she's trying to walk him through like, you told me to stay and you came here. And he just kept going, what? And then repeating himself.
How dare she do that to him? How dare she bring the cameras in when he's vulnerable?
Him.
What?
As if she has control over the cameras. I love that he acted like she was like in with production. I'm sure she didn't want to be caught crying in the shower. And there we were, you know? So this guy is going to break her in a way that I'm not prepared for. And I hope everybody is mean to him about it. But the last couple takes the cake. I find both of them to be some of the most hideous human beings on TV. And I don't mean it just in the way they look. I think they are internally, and then it becomes external, hideous people for what they said. What they said when they knew they were being recorded, I shudder to think what they would say if they did it. At one point, Nick, listen, I'm not here to be the gay police, you know? I'm not here to out people, but the call is coming from inside the house with that man, okay? And he says, what would you do if your child came back LGBTQ? And I'm already like, you're really familiar with the verbiage, Nick, to hate it so much.
And where is he coming back from? Where's the child coming back? He's like, that's what he said. He says, coming back, LGBTQ. Coming back from where?
From whence? And she literally visibly grimaces and then says, well, I mean, I'll always love my kid. But if you're asking, like, if I'd be happy about it, no. Okay, well, then don't have a kid. Because you know what? There's a chance that it could be that way. And if you can't be supportive of your child, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? So I already was like disgusted with her response. And then
they said that it was a fad.
Yeah. He's like, do you think
being
it's like
LGBTQ is a fad?
Sure. Okay. Talk to anybody who has had to come out and ask them, was it just like fun for you? Was it just like a little...
And I don't want to go too much into this, but he says, well, it's so funny because when I was in high school, I was really depressed. I can't remember what about, but I was just in my room all the time crying and depressed. And my mom came to me and asked, do you want to answer that? But yeah, so he's like, I was just in my room depressed all the time. I don't remember about what, but my mom, she came to me and was like, are you gay? And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm not gay.
What a silly question.
And she's like, yeah, but my mom just thought I was gay.
And he's like, isn't that hilarious? And she's like, ah.
And after all of that, she wasn't concerned at all or like.
Listen, first of all, before I eat, immediately I was like, what are you doing, buddy? Then the way he spoke, I told you this, like while he was talking to other people in the pods, it's like an alien came to Earth and watched some movies from the 80s and was like, this is how a straight man speaks. It was the weirdest, most overtly sexual, bizarre lingo.
Yes.
Never heard a straight man speak in this way.
From
even
a bygone
when they're being
era.
vulgar. Yeah, it was like I'm like, what did you watch to make you think?
It was very forced and odd.
Oh, every time he talked about it, I had a visceral reaction where I was like, ew, what are you doing? And she was eating it with a spoon.
A lot of what you gather is that this woman is so utterly desperate to be in a conservative, like traditional relationship. I want to get married. I want to have kids immediately. She's so enthralled with the idea that she may have found someone that holds her same belief structure and wants the things that she wants, that she's willing to just literally overlook everything that's right.
Just have a lavender marriage. Yeah. She disgusted me. The fact that she owns a salon and her hair looks the way it does.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Wild. A lot of people were talking. I feel so sorry for her on that, though. Like, people have been dragging her.
But you have to know, like, if that's your profession, you can't go on TV with what looks like a wig. Like,
yeah, I don't know that I would have said that if I was going to enter into the pods with my hair in like a messy bun every day,
Well, and even when they're at the beach or whatever, I'm like, what have we got going on here? This is not the right color. It's like weirdly clipped up in a way where you look like you have a bad bob. Like, I could not. The Karen energy oozes from the crown of her head to the tip of her toes. And I just wanted to vomit every time she spoke. And she's so sure about her and Nick. And I'm like, you know what? You deserve each other. You two deserve each other. And in the words of Brittany Cartwright, rotten hell.
My biggest fear is that they will go the distance.
I hope they do. Oh, I hope that. I genuinely mean this. I want nothing more for the both of them than for them to be with each other.
Well, he's out here doing damage control. I don't know if you saw his post.
He sounds dumb as hell talking about it, too. I'm like, you want me to believe that production called you and then asked you to be the voice of reason for the LGBTQ community that you do not espouse? Help me understand.
He's like, they just chopped up what I was saying about it,
What?
I wouldn't want them to marginalize an already marginalized group of people. I'm like,
baby, they didn't marginalize them. You did.
What language are you using?
It was a bizarre, it looked like a hostage video. I'm like, what are you talking about? His eyes were like glazed over where he's like, wow, a lot of people on the internet are mad at me. That is when you shut up. Do these people learn nothing? If I went on one of these shows and the whole world got mad at me, you know what I'd do? Not a damn thing. I'd shut up.
Disappear. Be quiet.
Be mad,
do not
stoke
feed.
a little bit of it and like to be funny, let it. I mean, because the more they're talking about you, the more followers you're going to get, the more screen time you're going to have. That's why you go on these.
Well, 50% of this country agrees with him. Which is sad.
Yeah, it's a dark time. These are dark days. But yeah, so they are horrific. The new episodes came out tonight, so we'll watch those. I'm going to do a write-up of SLC, and I want to specifically address Bronwyn's witch of a mother.
This woman needs...
Go ahead.
This woman would be out on the street if I was Bronwyn's husband. If she spoke to my wife in the way that she speaks to Bronwyn in this past episode, I would put her out on the street with her stuff and say, sorry, good night. And the only reason that she's staying with them is because they had to already put her father in a home. I'd say, you're going to the home too.
Go sleep next to daddy.
Yeah, literally. I'm putting you in there too.
She is so clearly jealous of Bronwyn, that Bronwyn didn't do things in the way that she wanted, that she had a child out of wedlock when she was in college. And her mom's, you can just feel her mom being like, I did everything right, and I didn't get to marry a rich guy. And I'm like, I'm sorry your daughter is beautiful and rich and famous. And you, for some reason, unbeknownst to me, haven't even dyed your hair so you look bald in the middle with these two like commas as eyebrows. They look like little caterpillars with the meanest, nasty look on your face. And you are going to look at your daughter and tell her that she would be nothing without her husband, that she should have really considered, that you were disappointed that she didn't consider adoption for the grandchild
giving her child
that you have.
Away.
That is... She's like, I just felt like a daycare sometime. And Bronwyn was like, because you babysat while I went to work and you didn't work. And she's like, well, you would have had to give her up for adoption, but I let her come over. I'm like, you are poor. I have so much empathy for Bronwyn. Like, I know what she did at the finale was annoying and, whatever. But I like her. And I like her as an addition there, as a good foil for Lisa. But her mother needs to be, you know what? I relate with Bronwyn to some degree. I feel like eldest daughters whose mothers were particularly hard on them turn into something else. Like, you just really take a hard right or left somewhere because it is
Maybe that's
wild.
it. Like, I knew I was attracted to Bronwyn from day one, and I didn't know why. And now I know it's that she's experienced like a double life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, do you have a little mother trauma? I see you, baby girl.
That seems to be really attractive to me somehow.
Yes. My mom and I had a hard time, and now I'm your father figure, in the words of Taylor Swift. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. I am going to do a Substack on SLC because I think the Bronwyn v. Lisa of it all. And honestly, Bronwyn is... the other thing I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about like parenting and stuff. Brittany having to be talked to by Whitney, where Whitney's like, I'm actually feeling some type of way because you were having no reaction to your child saying, I won't have a relationship with you if you are with this man. All they're doing is asking you not to be with the toxic man. And Brittany's like, yeah, they are. And she's like, can you do that? And she's like, I don't know. Like, she is the worst mother. Like, that is wild behavior.
It's
and
toxic.
Whitney was shaken to her core. And I'm like, I can't tell if Brittany is dumb or selfish or both, what's going on. But like, if your kids won't speak to you, not a great sign. And you're with some loser who doesn't even really want to marry you. I'll never understand.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how, it's always like women who you think, why are you in this? Like, you're beautiful, you're successful, you have money. And you're with this, like, she does.
Yeah. I think part of it is that a lot of it is because she is, like, in with the Osmonds. And so she's afraid to give up that, like, socialite status. But I'm like, that's so lame when, like, wouldn't you rather your kids speak to you? But she lost contact with them before. So she's like, what's another time?
Yeah. What's losing another 5 years with my children?
Mother of the Year, Brittany. So yeah, we'll do something about that. And then eventually we have to talk about Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun, which all I have in the outline for that is ew.
Ew.
And that's really all I have to say.
Well, everybody go to popsnitch.com. That's where you can follow us. That's where you can watch video podcasts.
Leave a 5-star review.
Definitely leave 5-star reviews and we will read them on the show like we did today. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and we will see you next week right here at Pop Snitch.
All right, bye.
Bye.